Hello. The game's still loading and stuff, but I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot that the space heater and the kettle are on the same circuit. They can't both be on at once, so I went to make tea, and then like 10 seconds later, the power went out because the combo of that is it's like 2,500 watts or something like that. It's just enough to trip the breaker if I'm also using my computer. If I'm not using the computer, it's barely enough. It's not like it's pushing it, but they can technically both be on at the same time if I'm doing absolutely nothing else. But yeah, it's not something. It's something I try to avoid because it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be that close to it all the time anyway. So yeah, classic mistake. Normally very careful about that. And it took a while to get to the breaker because we kind of have our Christmas stuff in front of it right now. So it takes... I had to move a lot of boxes to be able to reach it. I'd say we didn't make any changes right. I just wanted to start shipping up rockets. We'll ship up 500 rockets. We'll ship up 200 railgun ammo, and we'll ship up 1,000 ammo. I don't really know. We don't really need to ship up the ammo, but my idea right now is that if we just have infinite stuff on novice, it should be fairly straightforward to like do tests pretty quickly, right? That's my thinking. Stack inserters are technically faster, not by a ton, but they are faster. Let's see. Stack inserter with... Yeah, this should work. Okay, we'll do an infinity chest with barrels. And then structure. What else? Rocket fuel and processing units. Okay, so that's one of them. And then the other one can be ammo, which I know shipping up ammo is incredibly inefficient, but it doesn't matter a ton. And then we also need nuclear fuel. This should work. No, sorry, not nuclear fuel. Nuclear cells. There we go. That's enough, right? Yeah, that shouldn't have any issue with the stack inserter. It might have an issue with the stack inserter, actually. I'm not sure. No, they should override it. Yeah, water veils, exactly. You know what? I could have made... You know what? Let's do it. Blueprint, parameterize, make this a parameter. And then we'll do... rockets and railguns. Okay, that clearly not a good idea. Let's let's remove. Let's make all of these ones on the left dedicated, and then processing units. There we go. I don't know why I didn't think this would be a problem. Okay, that should be better. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And now we give it legendary stuff, and then we do beacons. Legendary beacons don't get extra range, right? No, that would be silly. Okay, and then legendary speeds. Okay, now they should fill pretty fast. What are you trying to do? So right now, this is just testing. So I am currently stress testing my ship. And you can't really, as far as I know at least, you might be able to add infinity filters, but I don't see a way to add infinity filters for it. Oh yeah, I'll put a message. Discord hasn't loaded yet. I'll throw something in there. But yeah, I lost power briefly because I overloaded the circuit with tea. Back. There we go. Oh yeah, I guess you can put infinity chests in. Well, the thing is I don't want infinity chests. I want like a specific amount as well. So that's part of it. Huh, I don't know how that got deleted. Why would I pour tea on my breaker? Because it was thirsty. But yeah, part of it is like, I don't necessarily want infinity chests. What I could do is maybe do infinite components and then limit the assemblers. That could work. Because basically we're trying to see how much ammo I need to make it to the outer ring. Yeah, I thought it was fair, right? Like when someone visits your house, you offer them tea. It's the rule, or I guess here it's generally coffee. But I mean the idea is the same. For some reason we're not getting fuel cells. I don't know why. Oh, we're not requesting them. Okay. Yeah, it works, right? Like there's no real problem with this, especially since we can just kind of keep making it. There we go. This will make it that our problem is just going to be this will make it that our problem is actually just going to be the amount of cargo bays on the ship. So this should work. Okay, so we have a testing situation. Now we know most of this should work. And then this is switched over to calcite. Perfect. We do need to somehow get calcite first, but I don't think that'll be a problem. No, making railgun ammo in space isn't a problem. We'll be making railgun ammo and rocket ammo probably through the same assemblers. But I mean, I guess if we remove this cargo bay, it might be possible to make railgun ammo on demand, because we do have 50% asteroids and we're pretty slow. It could very well be viable to produce all of the railgun ammo we could possibly need without a problem. That's not impossible. I haven't tested it yet, though. So that's part of what this test is. Right now we have 1K, 500, and 200, and I want to see how much it takes to go to the outer ring, solar system edge. And then we'll do an activity 5 bajillion or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, this will let us change the values pretty easily, which is nice. I don't think water will be a problem. I've actually tested it. It only takes like 1,000. It only takes like 10 to 20,000 water to make it to the system edge safely with no actual production. Because I was testing one idea of what if we just don't bring anything with us at all. But it turns out that requires 10% asteroids to work. but I think this balance is decent. Now this is pretty slow. So we go an average of 94 kilometers. We'll have to travel 145,000 divided by 94. So that is a 30-minute trip. It's not fast, but I wanted to just not care too much about the final trip this time. Because there's a good chance we just don't care that much about it, that last half an hour right now. Until I get the first run done. Then, of course, it matters. I imagine we won't be using... Ooh. Okay, I'll spawn in 70 rockets because I'm assuming that gave me an unrealistic expectation. Legendary rockets are not correct. We didn't actually give them, like, legendary ammo, right? No, we didn't. Okay. Okay, somehow it doesn't work already. That's not a good sign. We chose the wrong... Okay, well, that's an easy fix. Okay, so we chose the wrong asteroid. Why did we choose that one? Are they not grouped together? I mean, obviously they're not. We just misclicked. I'm just wondering how that happened. Did we do that for all of them? Yes, we did. Okay. And no, they're not grouped together. We're just blind. Okay. So these are good. These ones are wrong. These are missing stuff. Okay. Yeah, no more tea for me. I need to stop pouring it on the circuit breaker. Because that's definitely exactly what happened. I don't know why. I don't need the inactivity. We don't care if it stays there, because it's going to, right? Like, it'll do, yeah, it's going to do a victory screen. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure If we need only like 20 railgun, actually, I guess if we only need 20 railgun ammo, there's no reason to make it in space anyway, right? Damage. Do we have railgun damage? I think we have railgun damage research, which is not correct. There we go. Not like it matters that much, but I think it's the difference of, actually it does matter. It's the difference of like half the railgun or something like that. This barely covers, barely covers the radius of the ship. It might be better for me to actually do the railguns here instead, because the advantage of that is that it has a larger area, right? It goes a little bit farther off the edge. That might be safer. We don't really make anything up here, I don't think, at all. Yeah, so we have to bring all of the ammo we need or we're doomed. I'm assuming we'll need at least 1,000, probably 2,000 ammo. I'm pretty sure we have our damage upgrades about what they would be. We can get a couple more if we really need to, especially if we think this last trip is going to be half an hour. We could at least get this, maybe even this by the time it matters. Because we're just trying to make this last stretch really simple, because by the time we reach this point in the run, like, it's going to be, we're going to have been running for a while. I'm going to be really tired. I won't really have the mechanics to keep up with speed. So I figured I might as well make it easier. What the heck? Oh my gosh, I chose the wrong one again. Okay, third time's the charm. At least, bright side, quick saves are allowed, technically, by the current rules, unless they've changed it. So if I do end up dying from a mistake like that, we can technically recover, because we can just reload. I mean, it would lose time. It would still count towards the time, but, you know, we wouldn't have to, like, not finish the run. Okay, we can go a little bit faster, I think. I don't know why we're running at ×4, because it looks like we can definitely do up to, like, ×15, 6, it looks like ×18, something like that. Not quite ×20, but pretty close. Okay, so hopefully we have everything actually set up properly this time. We're going faster, so that should help. See, we're at 1 kilo, and we're at 1,000 ammo. So let's actually stop here. Yeah, we've used 1,000 ammo to get to 1 kilo. About 100 rockets, which isn't that bad. I'm gonna give it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna give it another 100 ammo, and then maybe another 1,000. I don't know why I don't just put it in my infinity chest. Actually, that is another option. I could use my infinity buffers and just place it that way, or just control click it that way. Okay, so it's about 4,000 ammo. We've used 100 rockets. We're only halfway there, so I'm gonna do another 500 rockets. Railgun, we've only used 30 bullets, and most of that is on the belt. Okay, so it looks like we can make do with like 100. Ooh. Did anybody see what happened there? Don't know what happened there, but I mean, it seems like we're fine. This is like a 40-minute trip for sure, though. We ran out of ammo. Okay, so we need about 5,000 ammo. Oh, that is unfortunate. That was pretty close. That was definitely pretty close. Okay, so we need 5,000 ammo at this damage, probably a little bit more, or 5,000. Yeah, 5,000 ammo at this damage level. The sentence did not make any sense when I said it, but I did say it correctly. But I hesitated. Okay, so let's try 5,000 ammo. That's 50 stacks. That's 2 cargo bays worth of ammo. But honestly, that's not too bad, considering this is basically all we need on this ship. That's going to take... Also, if anyone's wondering, we're not actually going to be shipping up ammo, most likely. We'll probably have this just crafting ammo based on stuff it imports from Novice. We'll be shipping up iron, we'll be shipping up explosives, we'll be shipping up copper cables and steel. So that stuff's just going to be shipped. Or at least that's the plan. I wish I knew what got that. I think we might need another rocket, because we can extend this, make it a little bit longer. That's not actually a problem. Okay, so we have 5,000 ammo right now. This wasn't enough rockets. Let's try 1,000 rockets. And then, you know, let's make the assumption that we're going to get this damage upgrade, because this is not that expensive. And it increases the damage from 60 to 80%. So that should reduce my ammo requirement. Unless there's some rounding stuff, that should decrease my ammo requirement by a pretty significant amount, right? That's 180 divided by 160. Something like that. So it'll reduce it by about like 10 to 15%. So somewhere in that range, which is an entire stack of ammo. So that should help. And key research, there we go. Okay, so we have 5,000 ammo, 1,000 rockets, 200 railgun ammo, which honestly we do not need. We could decrease the requirement by doing this. This might be better. Not medium, sorry. Big and big. Let's see if 200 railgun ammo is enough. Because if this makes it that 200 railgun ammo is still enough and it decreases our rocket usage, because I'm assuming that's what happened last time, it could be worth it. Definitely could be worth it. But yeah, it looks like most of this ship, it doesn't need to be sustainable. I think we just are gonna ship everything. Although, how fast does this produce? This produces up to 1.25 ammo per second, but it is limited by input speed, so it's actually 0.6 ammo per second. So that is 2 hours of ammo production. We'll probably need to make one of these an ammo assembler, or have these be ammo assemblers as well. Because yeah, this is 5,000 divided by 0.6. Yeah, it's about 2 hours. It depends what stack size upgrade we have, but realistically, it's going to be about 2 hours of ammo production at this rate, which is a bit slow. We can also use this, which is supposed to be... That's supposed to look like that. I guess that's fine. Actually, we're going to take a blueprint of this because I think we messed stuff up. Okay, so this is a kilo buffers. Or something like that. I don't know. Also, we need to get a number for how much it takes us to get to a kilo. So we need to be looking at this. Right now we had 5,000. I remember it took about 100 rockets. So that's 200 rockets round trip. Which isn't a problem because I think we can just make maybe 2 trips to a kilo. It shouldn't be an issue. Even if it takes like, well, we'll probably be about an hour to do a kilo if we take multiple trips. I don't know. We can do 2. Honestly, we could do 2 ships. That would probably work pretty well. Because honestly, I don't think the ship cost is that important. So we can have 2 just so we don't have to think. Because I do like that. But yeah, it does look like my ships are going to be a little slow overall, which is expected. I have sacrificed like half, if not like 70% of my movement speed just because I didn't want to make a long ship. Right? Like, this is just, objectively speaking, a worse design for a speedrun. Which is fine. But it does mean there's a downside of we are very slow. Like, almost a third of the speed we could be. Which, I mean, for going to the outer ring isn't terrible because... Or, sorry, not outer ring. That's a different game. For going to the system edge, it's not inherently a problem that we can't go the full speed, because going full speed means we need more railguns, so it's probably fine. But for the trip going to like a kilo and stuff, where speed would not be a limiting factor, it definitely matters. Okay, so these, we might just need more, honestly, we might just need more gun turrets. Like, I think that's the problem. We could also use walls. It's not a terrible idea to have walls protecting the cargo and stuff, because we could outline these with walls, no problem. It would not be that expensive, and it would make it that small asteroids don't really do as much damage as they could. We obviously can't defend the railguns, but we can defend the rest of it. Are we not going full speed? Okay, I was like, this feels really slow for some reason. Okay, so it definitely took like 500 I think like 500 ammo to make it to a kilo. Actually, that's pretty bad. we definitely need another assembler. It might be worth it to make this one... Oh. Did anybody else see that blinking in power? Oh, because both of the railguns recharge at once, it immediately drains our buffer for like a very short while. It might be worth it to do one extra steam turbine somehow. But I don't, honestly, I don't think power is a huge issue as long as we have an internal buffer that can last us like 1 second of a loss of power, which shouldn't be too tricky. It's definitely pushing it, but it does make it, or I mean, so far it makes it. We started with 1,000 rockets, I think. We are out of railgun ammo. Okay, so having this doubled up probably isn't the best idea. Although we have enough railgun ammo. I mean, we did make it. We did make it. That's the important thing. Continue, do not upload though. Okay. So we used, if we get that extra damage upgrade, we use about 3,800 ammo. We have 750 rockets left. We have no railgun ammo minus what's on this belt. So we did, is pushing it with railgun. That's definitely pushing it with railgun ammo. I don't think we should make it that close, but the rest of it seems fine. Yeah, the rest of it seems completely fair. Honestly, with we could make our ship like a little wider in the front too if we really wanted to. Like if we're gonna make it wide, we could definitely make it wider and self-sustainable if we. But I don't know. I like the idea of just buffering everything. Okay, so yeah, we used about 3,800 ammo. 1,000. We used only 200 rockets. That's like not that many rockets. But the first time we used about 500. Is that just because this was doubled up? Did it make that big of a difference? Also, I feel like... Let's do the wall. Let's do the walls on the edge. Not legendary walls, although those would be very nice. Okay. So something like that could work? Oh, that is not very symmetrical. These are supposed to be symmetrical. It's not. I don't know what happened. I genuinely do not know what happened there. Then it looks like we need to manually place scaffold platform underneath it because it doesn't... Actually, no, we don't have to manually place that. We can also just do... If we do space foundation with space platform, what do they call it? Space platform. Oh, it's both. Right, of course it's both. And then repair packs would be good. And then what else can we send here? Walls. Okay. That should make it a little bit safer. And then we're at 4:06:17, so 17 minutes. So let's go full speed ahead. We're almost 17 minutes flat. Let's see how long this takes. That's a good idea. Because then I would just use... long inserter, right? So that gives me one extra... Yeah, that gives me one extra turret. And then let's put it on... Let's put it on just huge right now. See how that works. And then ignore unlisted. Now the only downside of doing this is you have less range for the rocket turrets to shoot, but I don't think that's a problem. It didn't feel like we were using a lot of rocket ammo. But that might have been because this is doubled up. What's the going rate for railgun ammo to rockets? Let's see. Railgun uses 2 explosives. This uses 1 explosive. So these actually are not that much more expensive. I mean, they're like 10 times. Okay, they're like 5 to 10 times more expensive. But they also kill a lot more at once, and it's probably easier. I don't know, it might be easier to get 20 railgun ammo. Or 200 railgun ammo. Let's see, 200 railgun ammo, that's one stack of steel. Sorry, is that one? No, sorry, one rocket of steel. One rocket of cables, one rocket of explosives. So it's only 3 rockets to make all of it. We can produce the railgun ammo as needed. Like one assembler producing full speed would probably be fine. I think we could replace the... We could probably replace this guy. Okay, so this design does not work without this also being able to shoot bigs, which isn't inherently a problem, but it is something we need to consider. And I think that's just because now the rocket turrets have like an 2 less tiles to shoot. But I mean, it was barely working before it, so it's not like that's inherently a problem. It's just something to consider. Yeah, as long as these only fire like once every 10 seconds, we're good. Oh my gosh. Wait. We didn't, okay. There's a problem. One of our tests had railgun ammo going too fast. Railguns going too fast. Which is something we can work with. But yeah, we forgot to undo the we forgot to save after we undid the research. I don't think our railguns were a significant portion of our damage for that to matter. But it definitely does exist. And then let's do damage. Okay, we did do the damage. Then explosive damage, I think we only went up to... Oh! Well, that's not right. What the heck? Did we load the wrong save? I swear I undid most of those. Okay, so that changes our numbers significantly. So in that case, we definitely need these to be able to shoot bigs. But only later. So I think for now, we'll do this. We'll go to a kilo first. We'll make the trip to a kilo, and then we'll go straight there. And once we get to a kilo, we'll add the railguns. So we're actually going to put this here. We'll add these once we get to a kilo. And you just go back to novice. Restart that. Pretend that never happened. Okay. Then let's bump this up now, because I feel like this won't be enough. 400, we'll do 2,000 rockets, I guess, which at this rate would take quite a while. I think we need more assemblers. Oh, this uses a decent chunk of cargo space. I mean, the worst case scenario, we can add more cargo space here without any problem. So we can get probably 2 more stacks, and that would be fine. Okay, I think we reset all of the damage we need. Shooting speed, I think we definitely got. Oh, actually, shooting speed, we only got 2 of those? Well, that's definitely unrealistic. Okay, so that gives us rocket shooting speed. Okay, so we actually didn't have any rocket shooting speed at all. I don't think. So this should be better now that we actually have the research as we were supposed to. So in some way it's worse, but in some ways it's better. So I think... I mean, I guess we'll see. Let's see. We have 5,000, 2,400. Awesome. So let's go to a kilo first. Weight condition. Inactivity of 5 bajillion seconds. There we go. Because these are 2 separate values. We obviously won't be using railguns to make it to a kilo. Or at least there's no real reason to. Because we won't have it for most of the trips. Doesn't look like the ammo will be that hard to sustain, though. It's only 300 so far. 400. Okay, 1,000 ammo round trip for a kilo is kind of rough, but it's not awful. And we used about 200 rockets. Okay. That's not bad. So that's about 400 rockets round trip and about 1,500 ammo round trip. And now we go to the outer ring. We don't necessarily need both of these. Honestly, we might not need either of these set to those. Because part of the reason we needed that is because we didn't actually have any of the rocket turret speed upgrades. Oh, but we also had the damage upgrades. We're just going to save this as a different one because I think we'll have to reload that and just add the targeting priority on it. But I wanted to see if it could work without any railgun stuff. Okay, so this is 300 ammo. We're about halfway there. Okay, so yeah, it looks like 2,000 rockets will get us there. But it might be, honestly, it might be easier to get the railgun ammo at this point. I wish rockets could ship railgun ammo faster, but not really. We just need an assembler. I'll probably have a larger assembling array while we're above novice, and then just deconstruct it as needed, because this doesn't use a ton of iron. We can make this like 3 or 4 times bigger, and we also have plenty of water for that too. So that will help if we make it that we can actually, produce all the ammo we need. Okay, so I feel like that's pushing it. Let's reload that again, but let's allow it to now shoot at large asteroids. But it does look like this gun turret location is making it that we're a little less worried about the small asteroids, because we were barely destroying them. But we also have more weapon speed. We have more damage speed, just damage in general. So like there are a couple changes that we did, and I think both of them are reasonable. Okay, big, big, and big. I think as long as one of them is on big, we're probably okay. Because that just makes it that the rockets are struggling just a little bit less. Just a little bit less, and the rest of them are doing fine. I don't think we can get any more speed, though. Not with our design. We might be able to do a little bit more, but I don't think we'd be able to do a significantly faster ship. I might try it with 2 and see how it goes, because if it's close, it could be worth it. But yeah, I don't think we have nearly enough gun turrets to sustain a faster speed. Yeah. No, the gun turrets are struggling for sure. Which isn't great. But yeah, that used like 500 less rockets, but it used about 100 more railgun ammo, which those are pretty comparable, I think. We could definitely make either work. Okay, so yeah, that's plenty of ammo. So that's about an hour of production though, at our current rate. So we'll definitely need extra assemblers while we build things. I'm assuming the iron won't be a problem. Let's see. That's 10,000 iron for all the ammo, right? No, sorry. 5,000 for all the regular... No, 25,000. Well, we didn't use all of that. 20,000 for all the iron ammo. That's 10 rockets. That's... I think we can launch 2 or 3 rockets a minute. I think. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we can. That's kind of a guess. Each rocket is 1,000 iron? 1,000 iron. So that's about 7 minutes. 7 minutes of iron launching. That's not too bad. The railgun itself, the railgun ammo, 400 is... forget how much that was. It's not a ton. What do explosives stack to? What do explosives stack to, actually? Intermediate explosive. They're not under intermediate, are they? Oh, that there are 5,000. Okay. I think they're all 2, right? Yeah, these are 2 and these are 2. No, these are 1. Okay, so this is... we need 3 stacks of rockets for this, and then that means we need 3 stacks of iron. So this is another 6 rockets. Cables are 2 rockets. Explosives are 2 rockets. Steel is 2 rockets. Okay. So that's about 30 rockets worth of resources to produce all of the ammo we need. Yeah, this ship design is not efficient. I think it's safe to say that. We do have plenty of capacity though. So like we have way more capacity than we need. So I don't think it'll be a huge problem. It looks fairly sustainable. There's one problem with that design. I don't remember what it was. What did I want to change? Oh, I wanted to see what happens if I put 2 on it. Yeah, let's see what happens if we give ourselves 2 ammo. Wait, is there any way to make this work? There isn't, is there? Okay. Okay, we're gonna do... We're gonna do this. Just to make it easier. We're gonna connect it this way, and then we're gonna connect it around the side, and then everything is fine. I mean, it looks awful. Oh, actually, that doesn't work. Well, we can lower it 1, I think. Technically, yes. Right? Yeah, okay. Technically, yes. We'll go with that. That doesn't block anything. It looks awful. Don't get me wrong, but it works. It works for testing, at least. That's the important thing. Okay, let's see if this goes any faster. It might not. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know. I didn't trust it. Can this go across? Yes, it can. Okay, technically we can make this work. So this would have to go like so, and then this goes up. That technically still works. Cool. Okay, yeah. Ugly, very, very ugly design. But it's functional. Hopefully it doesn't make our ship wider. If we can support this speed, I promise we'll make it look less ugly. I can't make that promise. I'll try to make it look less ugly if we can support this speed, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think we have a lot of other things to worry about. But it really depends, because we could probably... Because it should use the same amount of ammo, right? So speed only affects how many gun turrets you need to bring. Doesn't really affect anything else. We are getting almost double speed. Not quite, because we are limited by fuel production now. But it doesn't seem too bad. We are running low on water, but... Actually, no, we're running low on buffered water, but we still have the entire tank. Huh. This is almost working fine. I feel like it shouldn't be... So something definitely has to happen. Yeah, isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. I'm so good at making ships that don't look ugly. Okay, so this lets us go full speed for a little bit. We obviously drop down at some point. But it does look like we can support full speed for a reasonable enough time. I'm surprised. I feel like we shouldn't have made that. So I don't know how, but somehow that made it with basically, well, okay, it used 100 more railgun ammo, but used the same amount of fewer rockets. Okay, so the reason this worked is because we used more railguns. Now we should make sure our railgun damage is actually correct this time. It does seem like we're good. So we can support 2 thrusters for a non-zero amount of time. Okay. Okay, let's... Yeah, this will have to be built by hand. Most of it's not that tricky. So the thing about the thruster is that this is copied between like 3 ships. And it's not super complicated. Like, we don't really have messy logic anywhere. Having to do this by hand would suck, though. This one thruster design, I think, is very easy to build by hand. It's like, this section is not super complicated. This section's... Honestly, none of it's that complicated. The fact that we're avoiding buffers is nice. What I imagine will happen is I'll have a separate instance of Factorio open with the blueprint. because that is totally fine. I'll have to be very careful to make sure it is a version that OBS can't read, because that could be bad. If it ever switches to the other game version, it would invalidate the run. But you're free to have like as long as you don't import blueprints from it, it's totally fine to have stuff like that. If you designed it for 2 thrusters from the start, it would be easier. Yeah, if we just make the original design use 2 thrusters, I think that would be fine. Oh, that's why we are losing efficiency. One of these, okay, this is pump. I forgot this is pump regulated. Okay, well that might change things. Yeah, let's see if we can make it work with 2. Overall, though, I actually do like this. The penguin power? I don't know. It kind of looks like a penguin to me. Actually, if we make it 2 thrusters, it will look even more like a penguin, which I think is important. It's definitely important. Okay, so we obviously need the tank. Although with efficient fuel, we don't need the tank quite as much. Okay, so we only need the tank on one of them, right? Something tells me this might not work. Unless we lower it one. I think we have to lower this one, which is totally fine. That's not an inherent issue. I think I see what I want to do. Because if we take this and we put it here and here, we can have it grabbing from like some central pipe, which is nice. And then this could just go under. That's not an underground. This can be moved. Perfect. Kind of doesn't work. No, it doesn't quite work. Well, okay, it does work. No, that's actually fine. There's definitely a better way to do this, but I think this is functional, right? It's not terribly complicated. I think it's messier than I wanted. I guess these can be staggered, right? I don't know. I don't really like the staggered look. I know that's a really bad reasoning that I'm using a lot, but I really don't like how a lot of things look. This looks a little easier though. I think that's a little easier to build. Not a lot easier to build, but it definitely is a little bit easier to build. There is also the option of doing only one pump output and having it run twice as long, right? That should be fairly balanced. That is fine. So now we do less than 8. And that should be a fairly even split. Oh, the pump was the only reason that was working. Okay. Linux in space. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I forget that their logo is a penguin. Should I just stagger this? Does it look bad staggered? I guess that's the real question. Let's take the blueprint out, just in case I end up using this. Let's see, where are the thrusters? I mean, if we really wanted efficiency, I think there's three thrusters is an option. Well, actually, those might not be more. Three thrusters might not be more efficient. Not entirely sure. There's some weirdness there with how the efficiency calculation works, I think. Okay, so three thrusters would look like that. And then this would probably be rotated. And then now, because it's doing 3, we actually set that to 12. Should be fine. Quality engines, I don't think would be worth it. I don't have any plans to set up quality modules. I don't think it would simplify building it that much to be worth setting up an actual quality design, throwing away resources. Why doesn't this look symmetrical? Because it's not. Okay. Yeah, it would definitely be easier to build, but since we don't really have quality research, like I don't even plan on researching quality, let alone setting up quality modules. But I mean, we have so long to fill ammo up, it might be possible. We can keep saving over this one, that's fine. This design definitely works better, and then we could limit one of those if we think we'll be missing something. But let's go to this image now. It should be really fast. Oh, that looks awful though. That's so long. We might need to compact it a bit. This doesn't go that much faster, but it is, what is this, about 70% efficient? Okay, it looks like we can get about 75% efficiency, which is fine. Weren't we getting 100% efficiency on the old one? No, 100 efficiency is really bad, actually. I think 100% efficiency actually loses less fuel, uses more fuel than 10%. It uses more fuel per thrust, or for your speed. Okay, and then by the time we get to this point, we're still going about 120. So with more thrusters, we're definitely sustaining more speed. And that's probably because we're staying at about 80%, 70% efficiency. Whereas before, with 2 thrusters, they were running higher. Okay, that didn't make it, though, but it got close. But if we cut our speed halfway along the line, that's possible. Because, like, the thing is, this is going to be, like, 20 minutes, or, like, probably 10 to 20 minutes faster getting to the halfway point. And then we drop down to 1 thruster, we would be totally okay. So that's not an option, right? We can definitely do that. Also, we technically have the ability to reload. We'll definitely be doing autosaves like every minute during the trip, even though it will lose this time. But that way we can always reload, which would be super helpful. Now, if I was paying more attention, it would be nice to see what got us, because if we were destroyed by like one big asteroid, there's not a ton we could do about it. But if, oh, hold on. Hello. Okay, sorry, someone was at the door. I did not pour tea on my breaker again. I was wondering. Okay. So yeah, paying attention. What is paying attention? Yeah, that's kind of the problem with that plan. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's see. Let's see what hits us. Okay, so we actually were destroyed by lack of gun turrets. I imagine. Although if it hit our main cargo ship, it would have. No, it would have. To be that immediate, it would have had to have been a huge rocket or whatever they're called, a huge asteroid, rocket. Yeah, it would have had to have been a huge asteroid to go right through our ship. Okay, so that one made it. So that is about twice the speed. It really is worth doing the extra thrusters because that is a sizable boost. Yeah, I don't think I can avoid that, can I? I mean, I can't avoid it, but like, why would I? Why would I? Why would I make myself go half the speed just because? Now, can I make it less ugly? Yes. Yes, I can. I think. I think we can actually shift this up. Probably to there. Not quite there. Maybe to there? I don't know. There's a possibility. Paying attention is short for pain for getting attention, which is the act of going to a bar and buying women drinks. True. That is. Wait, is that actually what it's short for? That sounds like a joke, but now, but like after reading that, it does seem like it could also be true. Well, it's one of those things that's too plausible. Okay, so this works, right? We just need to we just need to mirror the base again. Which is a little bit annoying to do. But we can, I think we can flip the entire top half. Yeah, we can just flip the whole base and then it works. Okay, cool. Okay, so that limits oxide instead now, which I don't think is a problem. I don't know if it matters which is which you limit. Okay, so those all get the blue stuff, and now this one gets the orange stuff. Okay, I mean, this isn't particularly hard to build. This design definitely looks better than the old one. It doesn't, and I wouldn't say it looks bad. It doesn't look good, but you know, it's manageable. That looks a little nicer. Although practically speaking, it's not any different. And then this is not working for some reason. Oh, because we don't have any calcite. That's fine. Actually, wait, is it possible for it to get calcite? Or is it just deprioritized? I think it's just deprioritized. Also, I wasn't actually considering that if we get enough calcite. I think we do, because you only need like 100 calcite to make it to the outer edge. It's really not a lot. Unless you're running your thrusters at like 0% efficiency or something. But for the most part, you don't need. I don't even know if you can get that low in efficiency. But yeah, you don't use a lot of calcite to make it there. Okay, so that looks a little nicer. Honestly, the fact that the tanks are the same rotation does actually help us a lot, surprisingly. It's a small thing, but it does make it easier to build. Okay, does anybody know, is there any practical difference between limiting the oxidizer and limiting the fuel? It shouldn't matter, right? But I mean, there's always a possibility that there's some obscure mechanic there. Okay, we are at 409.50. We're gonna head to the system edge and see how long it takes. Okay, 409.50. Should be a lot faster now. Just kind of forgot to fill the ship first. I believe they are equal. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense since it consumes them equally, but I don't know, there could be some weirdness. Well, actually, I mean, I guess with like actual like combustion equations, it does matter. But they probably have it simplified a lot more. Oh, wait. It's not completely mirrorable because of the side swapping we have. Whoops. There we go. Oh my gosh, they come at such like even intervals. That is cool. I like that a lot. Okay, well that fills up really fast and you just spawn in resources. Would be really nice if we could do that during the actual run, you know? Okay, we're gonna launch at 4:10. Okay, so we are 4 hours and 10 minutes into our run. I don't think we're getting the record. But yeah, let's go to the system edge, see what happens. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty confident. Oh, forgot the side swapper. Okay, let's fix this. Let's fix the side swapping first. And then I'm pretty confident that we do need more gun turrets. That seems to be the verdict, or we need more shooting speed. If we are spending half an hour filling this, there's a good chance we have spare research time to get the damage, but I'm not entirely sure. Like this would go a long way, and it's not that expensive. And then speed, also very reasonably priced, so we can definitely get that. I don't necessarily think we need the last one. Let's see if this one's enough. Okay, this should be fine. I think it has all of the deliveries it needs. Okay, space any 4. This has the ship we need. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay, 410, and we have one more damage upgrade. So that should be enough to make us sustain the speed a little better. Although, I mean, I'm looking at our thruster production, and it's definitely lacking. So we definitely quickly drop to 2/3 of our speed. It's still like twice as fast as we were going earlier, though, so it is overall better. This doesn't work now that I mirrored it. Actually, it never worked. There we go. No, although that wasn't really a problem. It takes a long time for that to fill up. But yeah, I think I think attack speed was our limiting factor. Or damage was our limiting factor, because we were mostly getting attacked by the small asteroids. Okay, so now this is a 15-minute or 16-minute trip, which is way better than the 30 to 40-minute trip we were originally planning for. So I think that's totally okay. I like this design. This one's cool. We should make this. That looks super viable to do during a run, right? Okay, so I think our penguin-ish design should work. Now, we have two options here. What we can do is we can have two of these, one for going to a kilo and one for going to the outer ring. Disadvantage, one of them... Well, disadvantage is we have to make two ships. Can we get a crab design next? Crab design would be really fun. We might just do that for fun. I doubt we would do it. We could do it in Burner Hundo. Because I feel like Burner Hundo, the travel speed of rockets isn't a huge concern. And we can design the stuff beforehand. So for that, when we end up doing that, we could just make all of our ships fun. That's not a bad idea, right? And then I'm trying to decide if we actually... So, I thought about it more, right? Concrete saves on rocket launches, but because I'm shipping up water, it doesn't save as many as I would think. So if you're getting all the iron and all the water you need from space, it reduces the rocket launches by a factor of 10. If you're shipping up water, it reduces the launches by only a factor of like 4 or something ish. It's not an exact number. I think it's like 2. I think it's like a third or a fourth, something around there. So it's less worth it. And since it's less worth it, it might be better for us to just ship everything and then produce concrete on the surface. Because we could very easily... Because the whole point of doing concrete this way, I guess the one exception is a kilo, is so that way we don't have to like mine bricks and smelt them on the other planet. But we can get iron. We could just take iron out of this and put it inside of our ship. And then we just need to bring bricks, and then we drop the bricks down. So that's probably the better way to go about it. And then we don't have to worry about this consuming like what would be effectively like half of our water. Because I believe it is 10,000 water per a silo, something like that, which is actually a lot. Like that's an entire rocket. Or no, these are 50 each. Sorry, 2 rockets. Yeah, it is. So it takes 2 entire rockets to fill a silo. So it is, it reduces the rocket launches by 3.3. A factor of 3.3. Because it would be 1, and now it's 3. Wait. 1 to 10 versus 3. That doesn't make sense. 70%. There we go. 70%. Okay. Yeah, because it's 3 launches instead of 1. And also instead of 10. I don't know. I guess it depends which numbers we're comparing. If we're saying relative to the 1 or relative to the 10. Okay, that's why the numbers weren't making sense. Because I was doing both of the calculations at once. And every time I did it to double check my work, it was counteracting the other one. Okay, it all makes so much more sense now. This needs to be fixed, though. Yeah, I think we can make this work. The fact that we have the extra speed definitely helps. We'll probably want to make sure we have backup gun turrets, backup walls, all that good stuff. I do not know why this is not symmetrical, though. Like, I don't know what I did. But this is not symmetrical. Let's see, this could line up here. Okay. That makes it a little bit better. Wait. Okay, there we go. If it's not symmetrical during the run, we're rolling with it, but this is how it's supposed to be. Okay. I think. When I say that, I'm not actually that confident. This would go here. Okay, that looks so much better. But yeah, it's not symmetrical because this had to be staggered differently than this. Although, it might not be. You know, if we can move where this goes, we have a lot more space over here. Oh, should I do that? I don't really see a reason to do concrete this way, right? Like, that's kind of what it's looking like. Because every planet can get water really easily, right? Okay, Volcanus is a little hard to get water. Wait, no, it's not. No, it's not hard at all. What's the foundry recipe for concrete? I know it's cheaper, but stone bricks, molten iron, and water. Okay. Oh, I mean, we could place it. We could place it here temporarily. That honestly isn't that bad. Because it's really just a matter of condensing water after. Okay, never mind. That's not hard at all. Why was I thinking it was more complicated? No, that's super easy. Okay, so we can produce all the concrete we need on that planet by only shipping in nothing. Actually, we can do it, but realistically, we'll still ship in. Is it the bricks or the stone? We need the bricks. Okay, I know we can make stone here, but I think we'll just ship in the bricks. Gleba, no, Fulgora. Fulgora is hard to get water, but it actually. Oh wait, never mind. Fulgora produces concrete directly. Gleba, water is incredibly easy. Iron ore we can get just from everywhere. A kilo is tricky. Because a kilo is in the situation where power is actually kind of hard to come by until we get water. And we also need concrete to cover a kilo. So I think we do delete tiles, all concrete that is exposed. And then we do only. Wait, what? What? Oh. I see. They are two separate things. Okay. This uses 600 concrete. This only uses 600 concrete plus. Okay, so that's not a ton of concrete. Yeah. Yeah, screw it. Let's not be creative. It's just not worth it. It's really not. This can go here now. This can be deleted, and now we can put more assemblers here if we want for ammo. And then everything looks a lot nicer. Yeah, that should help a lot. Also, now this can be speed modded because it has more input speed. So if we use like 2 bulk inserters here, we can speed mod this, get it up to ×3 speed, no problem. And we can get about 3 ammo per second, which would only be... That's still like an hour of production, but it's a lot less. And we can also expand this. So yeah, I think that'll make it simpler. We also don't have to worry about having concrete logic on this anymore, which is very nice. We need bricks. 500? Actually, no, we need... Let's try to keep like 1,000? I don't know. We can always drop what we don't need. What else could we possibly need? I mean, everything we need for building, but that can be adjusted as needed. Actually, this isn't even... This just needs everything for a kilo. This is a whole different ship that we're looking at. Which is our main travel ship? Okay, this is our main ship. And again, we don't need this. Which means we can just do this. And then that frees us... You know, that might free us up enough space to make this less ugly. Because now... we can give it a little wing shape again, I think. There we go. See, that looks so much nicer. And then if we're copying this, should I design this with 3 thrusters in mind? I think I should, right? Because the whole idea here is to be able to use the same like rear segment. And if this is the one we're going with, we need to delete our inventory again, which we need to clear that out soon. Okay, so that is our new design. Wait, what? Oh, why is that number 4? There we go. I don't know how I ended up switching that. Map zone. Okay, so we have starter ship. Now, I don't think our starter ship will have... I will say, I don't think our starter ship is going to have 3 on it. But I think it's going to be designed around the idea of having 3. Having 3 thrusters. But we want to make it that we can just copy what we have. Is it paused? Why is that not working? Okay, that makes sense. That throws me off every time. Okay, so a kilo and system edge. This is the rear thruster we're copying. Now we go to starter ship. That goes there. We delete this. We delete these. And then this should be fine. Okay. And then we don't actually need those. Okay, I think that's good. That, why does, wait, is this, where's the symmetry and why, where's the symmetry and why isn't it there? Okay. There we go. I cannot get this to work. Why can't I get this to work? Or look decent. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong here. Space platform, so I can auto build. Should I just add a wing? Should I just add a wing for fun? I feel like I should, right? No, I definitely should. I think that's a good design. Oh my gosh, that totally looks like a guy. Look at that. We got the little head, we got the little wings, we got the feet. Now, there is one downside of this design that I'm just now realizing. We need repair packs because we can't actually idle above a planet. It's Steve from Blue's Clues or from Minecraft? Or is that just your name? Minecraft Steve? Okay. Is anyone looking forward to the Minecraft movie? Cuz I'm not, but I'm definitely going to see it. But I think I think graphically it looks awful. This is not symmetrical for some reason. But why? Wait, is it symmetrical? It is symmetrical. It just looks weird. Okay. This makes it look better. So we can delete this, and we can delete this. There we go. Now Steve has a waist. Perfect. Minecraft movie in 4x4 pixels. That's what we need. Just watch it at a low resolution, and then it looks good. Now, okay, you're onto something here. Like, if we watch it at, what, 240p, that would probably look exactly like Minecraft would work. Because everybody knows that's how Minecraft works. It's actually rendered at 16x16 resolution. 100%. Although people definitely used to say that. I mean, like, obviously, graphically, it's not that demanding, but, you know, it's not like, it's not like the resolution is actually that low. But yeah, I think it seems like it sure is something. Do you have an idea of how to make the shorter fuel pipes? Because I could not figure it out. You do have RTX Minecraft now for some reason. Honestly, make underground shorter. Oh, okay. You just mean. Wait, that didn't do anything. Did it? Is there another underground you're talking about? That doesn't change the amount of pipes I need. It saves on platforms. Oh, I'm not going to be saving platforms. You might have missed it. I will explicitly have dead platform in it to make it look prettier. That is the whole reason you gotta understand it. We're giving it wings that are making it like 20% slower. So we're just specifically having dead platform designed into it. But yeah, speed-wise, saving platform, yeah, that's a very, very good call. Can't argue with that. It is a better design. I think after this one, we'll go for just a rectangle. But for now, yeah. Now that I gave it the waist, it does look like a stick woman. So this would be would this be Alex? speedrunner that cares about style, but only to some degree. Because I will say, it's still ugly. But it's not as ugly as it could be, and that's what matters. Okay, also this has way too much power on it. But at least we won't have to worry about power requirements. Yeah, that totally looks like a stick woman. This one kind of looks like a penguin to me, or just a fish. That is true. It's not as ugly as other Anti's designs. I will say his designs are incredibly efficient. So I can't knock them too hard because they perform really well and this one doesn't. So like, I can't, obviously huge kudos for that. But you know, this is the price we pay. We're playing Fashion Souls right now, right? If I move this out, it looks nicer. And I might even be able to get another one in here. Actually, I might actually. I said that, but I didn't believe it. But no, I could very easily get another one in here. Am I in the wrong mode? There we go. I wasn't able to Q-pick this. Yeah, no, that's very easy. Okay. And then we can do one more here. Some call it fast fashion factorial. So that's what FFF stands for every Friday. That makes so much more sense. That's why they just spend the entire blog talking about graphics. Okay, and that gives us 4 solar panels or more accumulators. Okay, that should be good. Actually, while we're here, let's actually do more accumulators. I think that'll help a little bit. Because we don't have enough power. We either need more accumulators. How will that work? Wait, this isn't, there we go. Now it's symmetrical. Friday Factorio fix. Oh, I see. For people who are looking for for people who are addicted to Factorio too much. That makes so much more sense. Okay. Now we're talking. We're gonna spend like half an hour rebuilding this in the run. Just for it to run for like 15 minutes, and I think that's fantastic. Do I need 3 thrusters? I don't think I gain anything from 3 thrusters, do I? Oh wait, I gain efficiency. I gain efficiency by having the 3 thrusters. Because instead of having 3 thrusters running at like 80% efficiency, we have, or instead of having 2 at like 80% or 90%, we have speed. We have like 3 running at like 70% speed or something, which I think is more fuel efficient. But we could probably do 2. Friday fixing fun. I like that one. Or there's the... actually, I just realized the other day, whenever we named the ship in my original space exploration, the Fast Express Freighter, in my mind, it was spelled with an A, and I thought it was a reference to the Fast as Frick. Until I wrote it out loud, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, this is an E. I just thought that's what it was named after. I just thought it was named after that expression, but nope. No, I just can't spell. How much heavier did these make it? Wait, do these add any weight? Not really, okay. I don't understand how weight works. It seems like it's almost explicitly added by space platform. Wait, is it only... Wait, does... Oh, that was a terrible idea. Man who can't read can't spell. Well, when you put it that way, it makes a lot more sense. Is weight entirely handled by the space platform? Does it not matter what goes on the ship? I just assumed everything. What about the stuff that it ships? No. Where did... Oh, no. We now have no ammo, though. The ammo... 2,500. Okay. Yeah, I figured having building... So it's really just the platform. I mean, that's kind of cool. I figured it was kind of dynamic. but that would be kind of confusing, especially with things like the rocket silo. Like, imagine just filling it with rocket silos and having like an extra 25 tons added to every single cargo bay because you filled it with rocket silos. Actually, I know you can't ship them. Do they have a listed weight? Okay, they don't actually have a listed weight. I thought they might. There could be one behind the scenes. And it only matters for acceleration while drag is based on the width. Okay, so it only affects how fast it reaches top speed. Doesn't affect how it's sustained max speed, I guess. Cool. So we're not losing a ton of speed by having extra platform. That's good to know. But yeah, we could do more accumulators. Honestly, accumulators probably do fine to handle the power spikes now that we have more of them. Because we now have 5K. I mean, technically, we still do drop a little bit into the negatives whenever we fire a shot, but not that significant. Another steam turbine would also work. There's some options, but I think this is fine. Honestly, I like the ship, though. I wish I could make... You know what? I can do it. I think it looks a little better like this. Thoughts? Functionally speaking, I think it doesn't really block the asteroid collection range, so there's no real disadvantage. But this one does move the arm down. I don't know. I guess it depends what I'm going for. This makes it more like a diamond shape. What if I just delete this wall? Because really my only issue with it is I don't like how straight this is. So I wanted this to be more like angled down. Which I can do on that side. I can't do it on this side without adjusting the cargo wagon. Oh, they look pretty similar. Probably doesn't make a huge difference. Okay, should I test it with 2? I might test it with 2. Because if I can make 2 thrusters work, it probably is a lot cleaner looking, right? Well, I honestly can't say that for sure. But yeah, let's try just 2 thrusters. I mean, I can definitely shave off a tile, that's for sure. So that would go here. You could shave that off. I can probably make it even shorter, actually, by rotating it. Because now this can go around. And this can just go down. So now we can shave off another tile. Now we're no longer at risk of idling. Also, now we have legs. Which, you know, doesn't affect anything, but it looks cool. I like that it has legs. This is definitely easier to build. We should see what our sustain speed is, though. Okay, so now we should be pumping out 8 every 8 ticks. Or sorry, 8 ticks out of 60. Okay, so sustain speed is pretty similar. We started about 410 still. I think the last one took about 18 minutes to get there. So this one should be a little bit slower, but I don't think it will be that much slower. It could be worth it to speed up our asteroid crushing. I don't know, do I get enough calcite? Because we can definitely produce more fuel. Although, by the time we run out of fuel, we've made it like 70% of the distance, so we don't really gain a ton. Yeah, I might do the 2 thrusters, which will give the stick girl legs, which is kind of cool. So we got stick girl and we got what, chonky guy? Because I don't know, it could be a person. I don't know, I still see a penguin. You got the little head, you got the flippers, you got little fins, feet, I don't know, whatever they call them, flippers. Are they both? Are they just called feet? I'm just like, wait, the arms would be the flippers. What are the arms? What are the legs? Looks a bit like Gumpy. Is that a fish? Oh, that guy. I remember him. Yeah, okay. I mean, if we if we're going for that, we can stagger the top to give him that little like lopsided look. Although I think that might drive me crazy, even if it's going for the design, even if it fits the design. Okay, so this only takes like a minute longer and it looks nicer. I think it's worth it. Fashion over function, as they say. The Factorio motto. Always has been. Okay, this is a good design. So now we reload our space age any percent. That also, I think now it can idle a lot more safely. Not like it's going to be idling among it's not going to be idling that long in dangerous conditions because it mostly just goes back and forth nonstop. But it definitely idles a little bit. So we don't want to push it too much. Okay, let's see. Is this the fully up to date version? Yes, it is. Okay. So now we go back to starter ship. The only thing we changed is this bottom section. Now we unpause. Okay, perfect. Oh, that looks great. No, that looks awesome. No, that looks so cool. It looks so much like a little head and a person. No, I love this. Okay, we do have the disadvantage of doing it this way. Technically has some problems. It's not a ton, but it does technically have problems. Mostly, this probably will go too fast, but we can regulate that pretty easily. Oh, this looks so cool. Okay, so this should effectively double this speed. I wonder if this will have well, okay. We also made it wider. Looks like a babushka doll. The other one, I totally see it. This one, I don't see it so much. Oh, wait, I think... is this the head wrap? And this is the face? I could see that. But this one, yeah, totally looks like... totally has that shape. Or, like... I see, like, a grumpy Squidward face here. Like, we got, like, the angry eye slit, and then we got a big nose. So we got angry Squidward, we got little lady, or I don't know, whatever you want to call her. Whatever this design should be called. Oh, Fall Guys. No, it totally looks like that too. Okay, so this can go by a lot of names. Fall Guys is perfect. I totally see Penguin, Babushka doll. Kind of a fish. I just see a fat fish. I see it less now that it's 2 legs, though. I think before the legs, when it was just 1, it kind of looked like a fin. Now it doesn't. Also, does anyone else find it odd that it renders the thrust in this map view? Looks like a minion in a suit. Oh my gosh, especially with the yellow. That looks, yeah, minion is perfect. I'm glad that we can pretend it's a bunch of different things. If anyone asks what our ship is going for, we can just give it a completely different one every time, and they'll all be true. I love it. Okay, yeah, this is terrible starter ship, but it should work. Now the problem with this one, it doesn't have a ton of capacity, which could be a problem. It actually could be a very serious problem that just doesn't have much capacity. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. We should test how fast this is, though. We don't need much of this. We don't need any of this. But yeah, this one doesn't have capacity. And then ammo we want to produce until it's at 1,000. Okay. And then the way we have it set up, we actually want to request ammo, because if we request ammo here and have it leave at all requests satisfied, it's one less click to do. And yeah, it's one less click. It's just really easy to set up the logic. It's like staring at clouds. Honestly, yeah. Especially since the shapes are so generic anyway. But yeah, let's see how it does in this round trip. We'll send it to Fulgora. We'll remove this. Actually, no, we'll still stay here until the requests are satisfied. But yeah, part of the problem with this ship is that the cargo capacity is really small. It is very, very easy to extend it. Like if we give it like a giraffe neck, we can extend it as far as we need. Or we could just do more trips. Or we have so much solar power. We have so much solar power now, I can actually make the little arms, we can give it 2 more cargo bays. And that wouldn't be a problem at all. Because we have enough power, I think. And then we need accumulators. Yeah, once we added the arm extension, we got... Ooh, we can make the arms more pronounced. Cool. Nice. Yeah, when we added these, we add more space for solar power. I think we only need 6. So 6 without any accumulator, so this should be more than sufficient. It's waiting on 1 more shipment of water for some reason. I don't know why. I swear we copied a water request. Okay, none of these request. Oh, this one should request water, but it doesn't. Did I pause it? Why isn't this working? There's probably one that got the request that is like held up. Huh. I don't know why it's not getting water. No. I said I wasn't planning to. I have a lot of stuff going on this weekend. I can't do an 8-hour run, or what I'm estimating will be like an 8-hour run, because we're kind of going in it without any practice. I don't know why this isn't working though. Oh my god, I could have made the silos legendary. That gives me so much more crafting speed. Oh, no. I don't know what the problem is. Are you not on above novice? Oh, you're not above novice. Well, that makes so much more sense. We accidentally left without realizing. That's fine. We took a blueprint of it. Why is it not traveling? Oh, it ran out of fuel, darn it. Okay, so we do need to wait a little bit more for fuel. Once we have enough fuel, everything should be fine. But the initial fuel definitely is rough. Nope. Nope, stay there, stay there. Okay, how do we make this not run out of fuel? Could you ever prod mod the fuel chain on the ship? I don't know why you would. It makes it really slow and take a lot of power. Oh, wait, this is the wrong fuel. Oops. Is that the problem, though? I don't think that's the problem. It might have been the problem, actually. Fuel was the problem because we weren't waiting for testing. Sustainably, it's not a problem. Or it should be a problem. But we'll see. We don't have large buffers, which is kind of an issue. But yeah, we'll see. If it can make the round trip, then we're good. If it can't make the round trip, it's tough. But prod mods aren't the fix. I think we just need a larger buffer somehow. Can it get enough at Gleba? Quality tanks with increased capacity would be cool. I imagine that would be terrible for the performance though. Of fluids, which are already bad. Well, I guess they improved it a lot. Wait. I see the problem. We swapped them and forgot about it. Okay, well, that makes so much more sense. Should be a little better now. Yeah, increased capacity would be nice. If we could buffer more on the belt, that would also help a lot, I think. Because right now we can only buffer 20 of each? Wait, 20 of each? Pretty sure this belt has a capacity of like 120. Why am I only buffering 20? Oh, right, we lost the other planet. Don't know why that happened. Oh my gosh, this is going to the wrong planets. This is the wrong ship. Starter ship. Fall Guys ship. Shippo. You know what? We're keeping it. Yeah, this is not supposed to go to that planet. Okay, we accidentally caught. I see what the problem is. Okay, so this is starter one. Yeah, our first ship is going to a kilo. Which is definitely how it should go always. So if we go to map, space map, novice. I wanted to go Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora. No, sorry, novice, Fulgora, Gleba. Fulgora, Gleba. Okay, so that is correct. Okay, this actually needs to wait for quite a while though. To get its initial buffer. We also need the group assignment, which should be fine. Some sort of any % exploit? Yeah. Going straight to a kilo. Definitely what it is. You caught me. How many walls would you need to reach a kilo without guns? I don't know, but we could check. Because that is an interesting question. I think if we do that, I want to just spawn the fuel in. Because now I am very curious. A kilo and beyond. And then this one is Fall Guys ship. Okay. And for some reason, this is a very low capacity. I think I have a capacity of 120. That is 14 times 4 times 2. Yeah, it's close. Okay, so we can definitely do 30 of each, and it should be okay. Especially since it will count the other side as well. So hopefully that helps. We obviously can't start it until it has a buffer of fuel. But I think it'll be okay. I like how I'm making ice just for the calcite. I think what I need to do, though, is read from this. Why is that set to set recipe? Enable if water is less than 24,000. So this is important to make that we still get calcite. It's not important on the other ship, but this one, we want to make sure all this water goes into here first, so that way we get calcite. Because calcite is very important. I wonder if there's a way I could direct feed the calcite. Nah, not really. Nah, I don't think we can. Okay, how's our starter ship? How's it filling up? Okay, so that's filling up much nicelier now. We should be able to make the round trip. Let's test it. That isn't correct, but I guess it's okay. we have enough of the important stuff. Okay, we'll start at novice. We'll see. See, it has 1,000 ammo, a 2,000 backup iron. Water is good. This only goes 60 kilometers a second. That's terrible. How is that so bad? Oh, right, because thruster. That makes sense. The important thing is that it's still flying, though, right? Yeah, honestly, now that we have more solar panels, we could try prod modding it, and it might work just fine. This is pretty slow. So this needs to do 60,000 over the course of about 70 kilometers per second. Actually, no, that's only about a 15-minute round trip. That's actually not too bad. It's not as bad as it feels. Okay, so the biggest problem with it is that it doesn't have a ton of thruster power because it runs out of fuel. We could try this, and that. And then we switch this to this correct recipe. I can't imagine this will make a big difference. Yes, that is correct. They do. It's not. I don't like the speedrun ships. I think they're very ugly. I can't bring myself to use them. So I don't care about speed that much. It's not like I'm never going to be competitive again, so I'm just having fun with it, if that makes sense. But yeah, we are losing a lot of speed. Yeah, about 20% speed from that. Honestly, not as big as I thought, though. It's definitely not as big as I thought. Okay. I don't know if we have the power for this. We might. You don't think speedruns will depend on ship speed for a while? I think that's very much not true at all. That's very much not true. I think they already do. Because the thing is, ship speed also affects fuel efficiency and latency for like getting a build up and running. Like if you take 10 minutes to get somewhere versus 2, that's just 8 minutes of absolutely nothing happening in your build. Because there's only so much you can do while traveling. Like maybe you could pre-build stuff on like Florgora or Volcanus, but like it definitely matters whenever you're limited by like the time it takes to research something. Having research arrive 8 minutes earlier saves 8 minutes, just like pretty much directly. It does look like it can sustainably fly now. I think I can decrease the thrust speed. Actually, these are already at like max efficiency because we don't have enough fuel. I mean, once we get a kilo advanced processing, the ship goes a lot faster, right? So let's swap this over. Then we'll swap this over. Then we'll swap this over. And see how that goes. Are the ships really taking that long to get to other planets? Well, it's like a whole round trip, right? And the ship that I'm taking, yeah, it's like a 6 to 10 minute round trip. Plus the time you spend in orbit waiting for deliveries. Now with the speedrun designs that are meant to be fast and are really thin, that can sustain like 150 to 200, they're not taking that fast. But or they're not taking that long, but that adds up because there's very little you can do while traveling, I think. Unless, I don't know, there could be a meta where you blueprint like your entire base on the way and then it's not time loss, but it's still definitely there. Why didn't this work? Let's just give it some ice and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to... I think we need to just... Honestly, if we just idle in planets more, we should be fine. But yeah, part of the reason we're having so much trouble is just because we're designing the ship to not be fast. It's like we have to spend a lot more fuel getting between ships. And there isn't really... You can't really make yourself that much more fuel efficient at this point in the run. You can make yourself faster, which like more than halves the amount of fuel you need, probably, if I were to make it as thin as it could go. Which is like directly proportional to the speed. But yeah, this is fairly functional. I think we'll have to figure something out. Also, we need to figure out how to get carbon to the other planet. Maybe we'll make a... No, we can't make a ship above Novice. We need to get carbon crushing. Somehow making it into this. Because we don't produce carbon locally on... Can I produce carbon locally? No, I can't. Not in any percent settings. We can't produce carbon locally on Gleba. But I need to figure out a way to get carbon to Gleba. Because this can barely sustain flight, right? So that means it's definitely going to struggle. Yeah, that means it's definitely going to struggle. Why doesn't this work? Is this like blocked with something? But yeah, if it can't sustain enough carbon to fly, it definitely can't sustain enough carbon to send to Novice. Or send to Gleba. I have a really dumb idea. Actually, oh gosh, it's not a dumb idea, is it? What's the rocket capacity of carbon? That's a lot, but we can request a minimum. So here's what I'm thinking, right? This guy, we just send a little bit of the carbon that we mine back. That's all. That's all we have to do. Also, can these be placed on Novice? No. Okay. Yeah, I think if we just do like 2 extra space platforms, my idea is that we have 1 space platform that just processes carbon, drops it down. Because we only need 1 delivery of like 100 or 200 carbon, I think, right? I believe we need 100 carbon fiber. Oh, my keyboard's low on energy. Wondering why it was blinking. I've just switched to like a wireless keyboard for... I'm still not used to the fact that it actually consumes power. Doesn't help that I have the lights on because I think they're pretty, though. Okay, so carbon fiber. We need such little carbon. We unlock this recipe too late, don't we? Actually. No, we don't. How can you get sulfuric acid on Novice, on Gleba? No, that would suck. When do you unlock that recipe? I think it's under rocket turrets, right? Okay, so we wouldn't be able to buffer stuff. Actually, no. When do we unlock the coal to carbon chain? Wait, do you unlock it on Volcanus? Does anybody know which recipe it is? Ah, okay, that sucks. That's a little too late then. Okay. So if we can just make 1 rocket worth of carbon on Novice and send it in our research ship, we have all the coal that we need, or all the carbon that we need for Gleba. The problem is that Gleba's our 2nd planet, and we don't have this recipe until the final planet. But I don't need rocket turrets for a while after that, do I? No, I need rocket turrets. Probably like 20 minutes after Volcanus. Less than 20 minutes after Volcanus, which is not enough time. Well, it's barely enough time. It could work. So my 2 options are send up 1 extra space platform and start buffering carbon early. We could just make a new platform, make a new space platform above Gleba. That's a terrible option. Go to Volcanus first, but that's the worst option because Volcanus is so easy to scale up at the speed you need. Like, it takes very few entities on Volcanus to get 2 science per second. Fulgora is terrible, super hard to get scaled up, so we want to go to that one first. Gleba is important for biolabs. As long as we buffer science, though, it doesn't matter. That we get that one a little bit later, we just can't get it that much later. Yeah, I think this is our best bet. Just 1 extra space platform. How much would that produce? This produces about 45 science per second, I think. Per second. 45 science per minute. 40. We'll call it. I'm just gonna call it one science. 1 science per minute, just for easy calculations. So if it can produce 1 science per minute, that means it can produce 0.2 carbon per minute. This is making the assumption that it's limited by everything equally, but we'll say it produces 0.1 carbon per minute. That is 12 an hour. That's nothing. There's no way that's accurate. No, there's no way that's accurate. You know what? We have the power to test this incredibly easy. What am I doing? This would be Ashcon. And we just have crushers. And then everything else, just do carbon, is less than 500. And then we remove all of these because they don't matter. Okay, I don't think this produces as slow as I think it does. I'm assuming space science is just very water limited because this is producing plenty of carbon. This has been running for 3 minutes. So yeah, I don't know what the limiting factor is for science, but it is very much not carbon. Which makes sense, right? This produces 10 carbon at a time and it only uses 1. So yeah, okay. If we just have... Honestly, we could probably just drop down spare stuff from the science ship would be fine. Or not science ship, but the science platform. We would lose a bit of space science, then we get everything we need. Okay, I think that's the strat. We'll reload. Actually, we didn't really do anything that we need to reload, dude, did we? Okay, we're going to add a note here somewhere. Maybe in a combinator, because you can add notes in combinators. That's a good way to put it. Add description. Starter. 1 shipment of carbon from novice, get from science platform. Need carbon fiber estimate, but probably like 300, I think. I know we need 200 for, well, we have productivity bonuses, so it's probably less. I know we only need like 100 for the railgun, or 150 for the railgun. Yeah, we only need 150 for 2 railguns. And then we need none for the space science, and then we have the rocket turrets, which we only have 3 of, I believe. So let's get a assembler. Rocket turret is... Oh wait, no, I think the railgun also just takes carbon fiber. So that's 60, so that's 210. Railguns are not made there. They are made in a cryogenic plant that gets me every single time. And another 20. Okay, so we need 250 carbon fiber, which is about 180 carbon, which is absolutely nothing. We should be fine. Actually, let's go make that note on Gleba. Get 100 bioflex from each fruit. And then another oh wait, oh, enter doesn't go to the next tab. Oh, interesting. You have to do shift enter. That's weird. Has it always been like that? That probably has always been like that, and I just never really use it there. Get 250 carbon fiber from about 180 carbon. Probably just make a full load. Is that true for other things? Like if I do, let's see. Can you use enter here? No, okay. So that's why I've never noticed it before, because it's pretty specific to just combinator descriptions. Maybe blueprints too. But that's it for me today. Like I said, it's a pretty busy weekend. Today and tomorrow's stream will just be like 2 hours. Maybe 3 hours tomorrow, but we'll see. No, I don't think there will be a stream on Monday. But yeah, there's sorry, yeah, I don't think Sunday will have a stream. I'll know more tomorrow. But it's a very weird weekend, so I have to take a take some shorter streams this weekend. We should be back to normal by Monday though. Then we should be good. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.